What's up? What's up? We are live. Can you guys hear me on your end? Let me know. What's up, George? Cuz, what's up, dude? Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Um, I know I did. I wasn't able to go home and be with my family this year. My boy has had travel football, and so I love watching him play. I don't love all the traveling, if I'm honest. Going and staying in a hotel like I'm at right now, like a Hampton. But I do. I love watching him play. I get so much joy from that. In today's video, I'm going to be talking some the simplest format on how to make a lot of money. I'm going to teach you guys that. It's very, very simple. There are a lot of complexities that I'm not going to be able to get into in this video. But if you can get some of these base foundations down, guys, this is how I've truly changed the trajectory of my family in the past 5 years. And this is kind of the formula. This is what I do every time. I always go back to this formula. Hopefully my battery here will, on my laptop, well, I got it plugged up. We're good. And I got my little hotspot here because the internet at the Hampton is terrible. I tried to log in there and it was not having any look. I'll answer some of your questions, guys. Before I do that, if you are wanting some of the courses that we have on the pwcourse.com, all of the courses are 50% off today for Black Friday. Just a heads up. Use the code BLACK for those. A lot of great deals on there. I'll show you guys some of the stuff that we have really quickly. And I should have had this loaded up for y'all, but let's see. Here we go. And then I'm going to get to drawing some of this stuff out for you. A lot of stuff, man. Most people complicate everything. Okay, here we go. So the resource page right here, all the courses here are 50% off today. Go to pwcourse.com, code BLACK. Look, I'll tell you, my favorite one, my favorite one's kind of the OG, right? Local domination. How to wash is a killer course, like 6 or 7 hours for the content in there. A lot of really, really good stuff here. How to stripe is the new one, probably the best upsell. I would say it's the best upsell you could probably have for your pressure washing business. I didn't do much striping because I didn't really know about it. I didn't know it was a thing, but it's definitely a niche. It's very profitable. This is probably the cheapest way to learn the steps on how to be, how do I say this, within code, because there's a lot of codes you have to do, especially with handicap parking spots and stuff. But look, you're painting a parking lot and it's so niche and you make a lot of money. Get this course. It's really underpriced over there. Get it, grab it, dude. $400. I think it's $200 today. So go over there and grab it. How to wash the new killer. How to build a soft wash system with Cody. Yeah. So go check it out. Get some stuff, and we're gonna jump in. You guys got any? What's up? Good. Let's go, bro. George, Super Pump controller is coming. The Super Pump will be here first. The controller will be after that. And on that note of the Super Pump, the formula I'm teaching you today is very, very simple. It's called Belief, Invest, Focus, Action. And I have to do these steps every single time. But what it has done, it's allowed me to be a part. It's allowed me to be a part of some really revolutionary things in pressure washing. I never planned on being a part of pressure washing. I was a musician, man. I was a touring artist. I had a lot of stuff going for me, and that all got dashed away from an unfortunate event in my life called divorce. And I got into pressure washing. But one thing I did make a commitment to myself when I got in here is that once I got in here, dude, I was going to blow it up. I was going to tear it up. I was going to push as hard as I could. I didn't care about any adversity because I couldn't care. And I think that's one of the biggest issues with a lot of people who don't achieve what they want to achieve, is that They don't have an enemy. They don't have any adversity. And I needed that. It forged me in the fire, if you will. It forged me. It made me a different person. Some people would say for good or for bad. I don't really care. I have a lot of new friends, a lot of people who grew closer to me because of that event. And some people kind of faded away. A lot of my fake music friends, dude, the one thing I did notice is that all my music friends that I thought I had, they all disappeared. As soon as adversity in my life hit me, they all never called. Like it revealed to me a lot about who I thought was my friend and who wasn't. And, so I made some great friends in pressure washing, right? I got you guys, I got Cody, Mike, Justin, man. The cool thing is if you double down in this business and you really put your heart and soul into it, you can change the trajectory of your family's life. And it may not be just with pressure washing, guys. I don't want you to think that way. I don't want you to think in terms of I have to clean stuff and that's the only avenue. That's never how I got into this. I got into this with pressure washing being a very high margin service that I could leverage the margins into bigger things, right? I could leverage the margins into other things, which means I invested in other things. And those things, some of those things happen to be in pressure washing. Some of them aren't, but some of those things are revolutionary products in our world. And that's where I got to put my creativity. So open your mind a little bit about starting your business in this world and what the possibilities are. It's not just cleaning stuff. You have a lot of possibilities, but one thing I will tell you is that you will never get to those things if you don't invest in the learning that it takes to acquire those high ticket skills and those skills that are very sought after. One thing that this taught me, and Cody will tell you, and some of the guys will tell you, is that it made me a world-class marketer. It made me study the psychology of humans. I know humans really well. I went through a lot of court proceedings, so I know attorney rhetoric. I know how they talk. I know how they study behavior in humans, but I learned a lot about selling, and I learned a lot about how to sell a judge, right? I know how they do that. I know how they set it up. I know how they set up the campaign right now for the result they're wanting. An attorney never asks a question they don't know the answer to. Always remember that. And so that combined with my investment, now that education cost me $400,000, but the other courses and stuff that I bought didn't cost near as much. And all of it turned a huge ROI in the sense of creating these products and creating things that we can give back to the industry for performance and flow and really awesome inventions, man. I was able to channel my creativity into things that weren't music, right? And it turns out I'm a better product creator than I am a songwriter. I was a better singer than I was a songwriter, for sure. I was a good songwriter, but I was not a great songwriter. Great songwriters are born. They're not made. I had a guy who's a hit songwriter. He's written a bunch of stuff for Rascal Flatts, and he told me, he said that great songwriters are born. A good songwriter can become a better songwriter, but he will never be a great songwriter. So that was very interesting to me, that either you were or you weren't. And what I found with a lot of songwriters is that if you're really great, you start getting momentum quickly. Okay. Like the town sees it and they'll start picking your stuff up, and you'll have guys who are there for a year and a half, 2 years. And dude, they've already got songs on the radio and you've been chugging it out for 8 years over here, dude, looking at all these people pass you. And some of those people, who are in year 8, year 10, they eventually do kind of make it. But one thing I have learned is guys like Luke Combs and guys like Kane Brown and guys who've come out of nowhere, right? They shot up to the top. And so it showed me that it's not just about talent in that world. It's not just about the value or your voice or your capability. It's about who's willing to stick their neck out for you. It's about a hierarchy, right? Somebody has to be willing to say and take you into the gods that be And I just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. I wanted to be a part of something. And I didn't know it right when I left. I thought I was going to keep doing music. I thought that was going to be it for me. I kept actually doing it when I was window cleaning. I was like still taking song rights. And eventually I figured out that I could control my destiny in pressure washing. Once I figured out the ROI, I was like, damn, the margins here are crazy. I was like, what if I just double down into pressure washing? And what if I really figure this out? What if I really invest? What if I actually do the hardest thing possible? I wonder how it'll turn out. And the cool part was is that I didn't have any other choice. And so I didn't have all the thought drama that a lot of people have about investing in themselves. You see, I couldn't. I had to go to court every fucking month. Man, like I've been to court over 60 times, dude. Like, I've been there. I was there so much, and they dropped all the stuff on me after 2 years of hell. I went through 2 years with the state. The state tried to pin something on me. DCS tried to pin something on me, and eventually they just said, "Well, we don't have anything, Your Honor. We don't have a case." Just like that. So there went $100,000 or more, probably around 100,000 of just air to have the state say, well, we don't have a case. One Thursday I was at court and that's what they said. Can you imagine like the mental drama in that category? And look, other people got it worse, I'm sure. But what I'm saying is if I can go through that and other people can come from nothing and do this, okay, and achieve their dreams, then all you have to have is a little bit of belief, a little bit of investment, a lot of focus, and a shitload, an uncomfortable, ungodly amount of action. And I will give you this. Let's jump into my little fun diagram here. Stop that screen. Let's go over to my auto draw screen. No. Here we go. And I'm going to give you guys this little presentation. Share screen here. Boom. How to make money. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Can y'all see this? Price got to go up, baby. Good to see you. That's probably Mike Killian. That's definitely probably Cody Yarbrough. I can't tell, but that's the Cody Yarbrough. I don't know who this is, but probably see Mike Killian. I did know. All right, how to make money. So I'm going to draw this out for you guys. And this is the simplest thing, but winning a football game is really all about blocking and tackling. I know everyone wants the little play that's the trick. Everyone wants to talk about the flea flicker or the double reverse, the thing that you catch them off guard with. And one thing I found is that you cannot catch the market off guard, and you can never catch yourself off guard because you get to live with yourself all the time. So it doesn't behoove us to learn tricks. Okay. It behooves us to learn principles and strategies and ways of thinking, ways of not just thinking about your hustle, but ways of thinking about yourself and how you hold yourself matters. It matters more than anything I can teach you today. How much you believe in yourself and you stick your chest out. Everyone always said when I was young, just believe in yourself and it'll happen. And eventually you get to a point where you're like, oh, I'm tired of hearing that cliche saying. And then you get older and things have happened for you and you have like multi-million-dollar products out there. And it turns out it was that. Turns out they were right. The problem was, as humans, we don't like the way it sounds because it sounds too simple. We like complicated shit. We love it because it lets us off the hook. What does that mean? It lets us off the hook because if it's complicated, we can always say we were confused. And I know for certain that you're not confused. Okay? Because I'm not confused. You're not confused either. You know what you need to do. This week coming up, I don't care where you are in the country. I don't care if it's a frozen tundra. There is a place to market your pressure washing business coming up this week, like Saturday, like tomorrow. Okay. Start writing the emails tonight. Some of you guys are in the coldest part of the country. Well, there's some indoor factories somewhere that need cleaning, and it's not frozen inside of those factories, but you're not talking to the factory. You got equipment factories, people like out in the middle of Nebraska, like companies that, do refurbishing of tractors and shit. They need it clean. They got to have stuff clean inside big tanks, ships. If you're on the coast, like, I don't care if you're in Maine, dude, somebody's getting something cleaned. And you have to think this way, because if you don't think that somebody's getting something cleaned, your mind, our mind as humans, always wants to go down. It always wants to go down to the negative, scarce shit all the time, man. I'm not immune to it. I'm just very aware of it. See? And if you're aware of it, you can eventually become more immune to it. All right? I'm immune enough to where it disgusts me. All right? I'm not immune to my own thoughts. If I was immune to any scarcity thinking, right? If we all were immune to scarcity thought, we'd all be billionaires, because billionaires have the most efficient movement of any human. Why? Because they're billionaires. Okay? Especially guys who are self-made. They are so efficient. How efficient do you have to be to have an idea one day and then create something and then go meet someone and sell the idea and assemble a team around this idea and then sell more of those products and then get a small factory, right? And then you start really selling, and then you start outsourcing, and then you start, see what I'm saying? Like a Steve Jobs, it's like one day you have an idea and 10 years later, you're a billionaire. Do you realize how efficient you have to be? How much removal of thought drama you have to partake in to get to a billionaire in 5 years, 10 years? It's insane. There's like no missteps. There's like no resistance in their mind. And so, what if you don't want to be a billionaire? Okay, you can become a millionaire. I promise you. I promise you can. All right? But you have to practice the removal of thought drama, cutting the cancer out whenever your mind goes to scarcity. So let's start with my little presentation here. All right. Here we go. All right. All right, so you guys are still here. Good deal. I'm just checking on my stream because I'm typing here. So the first thing is belief. Belief? Is that how you spell it? That looks weird. Belief. Nope, it's definitely IEF. It looked weird with this font. You ever done that? It looked weird. All right. So listen, the first piece of this puzzle is you have to go against all of your raising that told you that you were mediocre. And maybe they didn't directly tell you you're mediocre. Maybe it was just assumed. Maybe your family, like, covert propagandized you into believing you were just supposed to be kind of poor, or just, living paycheck to paycheck, right? Or maybe you're just supposed to make, 50,000 or 80,000 like your dad did. It's covert. It doesn't mean someone came out to you and said, you're mediocre, you'll never amount to anything, like the movies. A lot of times it's just assumed, okay? And so I need you to understand that subtlety that affects belief. That subtlety of assumed diminished aspirations. That's what we'll call it. Country Alabama assumes diminished aspirations. And they'll almost chastise anything but that. Okay? They might laugh, chuckle. Well, that boy, he's gonna go places. I just hope he keeps his head on his shoulders, you know. And keeping your head on your shoulders means don't make too much. Don't make too much money. Can you imagine like thinking that about your children? I want my son to do 10 times better than me. If I could possibly get him to do 10 times better than me, like I will support him in whatever way possible. But a lot of people are not like that. A lot of people, you know, your family, some of them are not like that. So belief is the first bubble. This is where it all comes down to it, is that you say, I have an idea. Now the mind says, well, do you believe you could achieve that idea? And in a nanosecond, you go through your whole childhood and you factor in who you are, where you've been, what run-ins with the law you've had, what people put spells on you before and said, you're supposed to be this. You factor all that in a nanosecond, and you either rule the idea as good or you rule the idea out and you don't believe that it's possible for you. This is an awareness that you have to develop, that your brain, it doesn't work for you or against you. It just is there. And you can train your subconscious mind if you try. But belief is the first step. So if I can get you to believe that you're worth a net $300,000 a year and no one in your family's ever made $100,000 a year, do you realize what kind of friction might be in your mind? Imagine the friction. You don't even know anyone personally who ever made, maybe like your long lost uncle in Chicago or something who didn't live close to you. Apparently he was rich. You never knew him, right? That's a rub. That's like because your mind wants to say, well, maybe I can just replace my income. Well, the problem is that you shoot too low and you hit your target. We're trying to shoot way higher, but something that's achievable. And I'm here to tell you that it is. But first, you have to believe that it's possible for you. And the only way to believe it's possible for you is to sort through your whole childhood and ask yourself, why wouldn't I believe it's possible for myself? Because millions and millions and millions and millions of people make that kind of money. It's not a lot of money. It's a lot to some people, but to the world, it's not. Okay? So belief is first. The second step, the second bubble, here we go, is invest. All right? This is the second step because you will only invest in something after you believe it's possible for you. Okay? You will not invest in anything. You will keep your money in your pocket if you don't believe it's possible. So sort through the childhood belief situation. And I encourage you, let me give you the permission slip to finally believe in yourself. Like, let me resonate with you because I had to go through the same thing, dude. Like, I've been through this whole thought process. Okay. The second step is invest. Once you believe, you will be able, you'll have the opportunity to invest. But one thing that I know, and I'm going to go a little biblical here because I am a Christian, I am a believer. And I will tell you, as soon as you go to invest, as soon as you say, okay, I believe this is possible, the serpent, we've talked about this, he always intervenes. He says, but you didn't sort it out. You didn't do enough research, man. Like, but don't you, he's like talking, right? Yeah. I see like a little snake. He's like talking. Don't you think you should do more research? Don't you think like, what if you lose your money? What if your wife leaves you? The funny thing about the serpent is he knows your biggest fear, your personal biggest fear. And everyone has somewhat similar fears, but he knows the one that really clicks with you. And this little gap right here is where he's going to wield it, going from belief to invest. Oh, that's the gap. He's going to smack your ass with some questions, just like he did in the garden. Okay. This is so funny. That's what he's going to do. All right. So the second step is invest. Now, the third step, And I'm not trying to draw these bigger or smaller. It's just, it's not super easy. Okay. Here we go. Now, one thing I know, after you invest, if you do take that leap, you kick the serpent out. You say, look, man, I'm the dude. I'm going to make this happen. And I will stay up all night, every night, get up every morning at 5 a.m. I will knock all the doors in the entire city to make my investment work. The next thing that happens is focus. Okay. Focus, because you're trying to get this. And a lot of us hedge. This is what I've seen mostly. They focus on getting an ROI, but a lot of us are not really trying to get a return on the investment. We're just trying to get our money back, which is a problem. It's still bumpkin thinking. It's bumpkin. We're just like, well, if I can just get the money back I pay for the skid, I'll be all right. No, that's called poor thoughts. We don't think poor thoughts on the Lean Academy. Poor thoughts are not allowed. Poverty thoughts are not allowed on my channel. Okay. We're going to think in prosperity. We're going to think in abundance. We're going to think that we can do this. We're going to do this. This is not a question. This is how I did it. I'm telling you guys, like, I have a business that's worth millions and millions of dollars. Like, I know y'all know me from Aaron, and I love y'all for that. But this is different. I've invented things at this point. There's patents that are pending right now with my name on them. And I'm not saying that to say I'm over here now. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I was here and I did this exact process. I believed. I invested a lot of money. And then once I invested the money, I went full on focus on an ROI. Action. I made sure every single piece of those inventions were crispy, okay, kosher, tight, aesthetically pleasing, correct. Why? Because I had an investment that I wanted to get an ROI on, all right? And I didn't want to just make my money back. This is the cool thing. If you invest in yourself enough, you start thinking in terms of multiples and not just getting my money back. So I want to urge you, if you learn nothing else from this video today, if you take nothing else, we're not going to think in scarcity anymore. We think in abundance. I want you to be able to hear the serpent. I also want you to think in terms of return on investment in multiples. When I buy this skid today, I'm going to make a minimum at $25,000. I'm going to make a minimum of $100,000. And then I'll reassess if I want to keep doing the business. But I'm going to get an ROI on the investment. All right. So the third step is ROI. Right. We go here. Boom, boom. Serpent's all up in this shit, dude. He's always talking. He's always bullshitting. Serpent's always got some lies and bullshit. What if you don't get your money back? What if, some people focus really hard and they don't ever get their money back. Some people try really, 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 really hard and they never get them. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you something. That's not the case. That's a lie. Actually, one thing I've learned is if I focus and I learn the main movers, which is marketing, getting leads, delivering a great product, ROI it's gotta happen. It's never not happened, man. But one thing I have found is that a lot of guys, this is a weird one, okay? Some guys will do the investment. They'll do the investment to confirm to themselves that they don't believe in themselves. It's a weird conundrum. It's a new paradox I've started learning. I've seen a guy buy a skid one time, and a year later, it's sitting in the garage. He didn't do anything with it, didn't mark it, which brings a lot of questions, right? You're like, dude, if I bought the skid, I would absolutely live. I would crush it. I did. I did. I built a rig and I crushed it. But it's like, what is that thinking process that makes him, oh, it don't work? He invested. And I think what it is that he invested to prove to himself that his self-esteem is so low. He invested to say, this is my last ditch effort. See, I told you it wouldn't work. I told you it was a fulfilling prophecy that we're bound to lose. I told you that. It's a weird dynamic. You'd admit, right? It's a weird dynamic because you and I, we invest and we're like, no, I'm actually going to go crush it. So the third one is focus to get your ROI back. Okay. And the last one, funny it is just like obnoxious action. It's like how many conference calls I've been on about pumps and about, trainings and about, uh, the valve, when we were early, that thing's been out for over a year at this point. But when we were first building it, I mean, it was a million calls, like massive action and money going out every month. Okay. FYI, with no return on investment then. Okay. So you're like bleeding money with the belief you're putting money in, you're investing, you're maintaining belief. All right. You're focused on an ROI and you're constantly looking. I'll tell you, like my guys know with the pump, like the skunk team, I've told the skunk team, like I told them, I was like, listen, like I will take this pump and I will throw it in the ditch. I will throw the whole project away if it's not right. The whole thing. I'll throw it all in a ditch. I don't care about the money. I care that it's right. Okay? Right, that it hits the parameters that we have designed it for. They understand. They look at each other. They can't believe that. Can't believe that I would throw it away. Cody and I, we don't play like that. See, when we engineer something, it's going to be right. There's not a question about that. And so once you've done this enough and you've confirmed this formula, okay, the idea here is to get this all in one little orb, okay? If I can package this as like a little package that I would give to you, this is what this is. And I'm constantly learning. Like, I'm constantly investing. Constantly, man. Like, a lot of guys don't know, like, I could have bought a house a long time ago. But, like, I was interested in investing in the products and interested in investing in the innovations. Now I'm thinking about buying a place. Like, but years ago, I could have done that. But now I'm like close to my son. Like I rent my place. It's like really economical. It's like super cheap, right? It's great. It's like a full house. It's great. Like people say, oh, you lose money for renting. It's like, well, my rent's $2,000. Like my mortgage when I buy the house, it's going to be like $11,000 a month minimum. So am I losing? You know how long I could go at $2,000 a month and still be able to work, right? Still be able to operate and innovate. The space doesn't look. I can innovate in a damn Hampton Inn, and you could too. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter if you're in the basement of your parents' house right now and you're down and out in your last dime. Innovation can happen anywhere as long as you have the belief, you're willing to invest, you're willing to network with people and invest. You're focused on the ROI of the investment. That's what's going to put you into the action. The focus on the ROI, because the focus in the ROI is like learning everything possible. Dude, I know so much about tolerances. Like, I'm not an engineer. The guys asked me one time, some of the skunk team, they thought I was an engineer. Now, mind you, I do have engineers on both sides of my family, like chief engineers on merchant marine ships. But those are my grandfathers. So I have an engineer kind of mind pedigree, but I'm not an engineer. Okay. But they asked me, they were like, are you an engineer? I'm like, no. I just know what needs to happen. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to make it, but I know what it needs to be. Okay. So what I'm telling you is that believe in yourself, invest, please invest. Please stop being fearful, because fear is the devil and the devil is a lie. And once you invest, focus on the ROI and take massive action. One of my favorite guys, I talk about him all the time, Marco Hilby. This dude takes so much action. Truth seeker. Some of you guys, man, y'all really, Hoff Power. Some of the guys that just remain positive. Ben Wilson. Ben Wilson's like such a sleeper, dude. The dude crushes like, $3,000-$4,000 days. Like, I think the lowest day I'm with him, he's making like, $2,000, 1,800. He's like, oh, this one's just $1,800 in a morning. God, it's all out there. So stop listening to the poor people around you. Stop listening to, if that's your family, stop listening to them. Okay. Love them. I'm not saying you don't love them. So you just stop listening to them. You don't let their words hit your cerebellum. You shield the frontal lobe. You see? You shield it from all of their words. You close your ears off if it's possible when they're talking to you about anything regarding money. Because if you listen to me, all I'm going to tell you is you can do it. It is possible. Invest in yourself, because that is the formula. Okay? There is no scarcity. There's plenty of money out there. Money is everywhere. Money is everywhere. And I believe that a portion of it should be yours, but it doesn't matter what I believe. It matters what you believe about yourself. That whole belief bubble, the first one, you've got to do some serious soul searching, bro, to see if it's something. Can you believe in yourself? That sounds so trivial. Can I believe? You know how many people be offended if you said that? But get down to the real nitty gritty of it all. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that it's possible for them to be a millionaire, for them to put their kids, and it's your duty to leave your children's children an inheritance. That's a heavy verse. So take it to heart. All right. I do. I wake up every day and I'm trying to be that. I want to be that. I desire to be that for my family. It's something that I will literally stay up as late as I need to. I'll work as long as I need to. And look, it's not some like martyrdom thing. I've been with people like that before. My thing is I actually just enjoy it, right? Like I genuinely enjoy working. My girl knows when we go on trips, like you got to give me like at least like, I don't know, like a day and a half to work. Like I like to work a lot. I enjoy it. And so find a way to enjoy it. Find a way to enjoy learning. Because once you invest in yourself and you start learning new skills and new things, you're going to be sought after for that because you're going to get good at it. Like guys like Mike Turman, Mike's like such a Jedi at like subtle marketing techniques that create preeminence and what would it be? It's not omnipotence. Omnipresence is the word of his brand in the marketplace. He's a Jedi at it, dude. Dude scored like a $50,000 job, or it was close to $100,000 off an air freshener. And he has like multiple stories like that with like different things that he's done. But Mike Turman believes in himself, dude. I'm telling you, that's why we resonate with him, because he has like this just unshakable confidence. He's like, no, it's going to work. And he has like this smile about him when he talks about how it's going to work. And then he goes and does that shit. And what that is, guys, is that's just the belief. Mike's never scared to invest. He's come to multiple trainings. He's come to Wash-a-thon years ago. Came to WashCon. The guy already knew like 98% of what we were going to teach. Didn't matter. He wanted to be there. Do you realize that that's the formula? But do you also got to realize that like that's foreign to everything you grew up around? So I'm going to leave you with this. Since it's foreign to everything you grew up around, And you're aware that if you keep doing the same things, you're going to keep getting the same things. Here's what I like to do. Start looking at your daily actions. Figure out the quickest way to cash, what action that might be, whether it's knocking doors, whether it's calling somebody. What gets you money the quickest? Don't go the long route of emailing everybody and that's all you do. You need to go speak to somebody. You need to go network. You need to get in front of someone and you need to ask for the sale. Okay? Become really good at that. If you can become good at sales, you'll be rich. Okay? But at the end of the day, cultivate the belief, invest in yourself, focus on getting an ROI on the investment, not in a multiple, not just hedging to zero. Take massive action. Guys, I love you. Thanks for tuning in. Okay. Juan Wizard, it was great, man. You're damn right. Absolutely. Go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell. G2H. you know, um, prophets are ungodly. Oh, look at this. I love this, man. Y'all are great. There's a balance. Humble is important. I'm not that humble. I think that Christians have gotten the word humble wrong. I think they've bastardized the word they've bastardized the word humble to prop up their lack of self-esteem and belief in themselves. And the problem is their lack of faith. You know, a lot of Christians talk about their faith. They have none. Most Christians I've met have no faith. They're not willing to invest in themselves at all. They go to the bottom. They're willing to penny pinch. They're always trying to budget. They're never trying to make more. They think making more is wrong. And if I could do anything, look, I'm not a pastor, but I am a believer. Okay. And if I could do anything for my sons and for the people who are Christian who are around me, is that we believe in Aaron's house that it is my duty to be rich. I tell my son, it is your duty to be rich. And it is put, there's over 2,000 verses in the Bible about money. Over 4 times more verses in the Bible about money than there are prayer. There's only about 480 about prayer, somewhere around there, 400 and something. There's over 2,000 about money. Okay. So you really have to challenge what everyone's told you, including your pastors, about money and your duty to acquire it. All of the men who are mentioned in the Bible, especially Old Testament, were all rich. Abraham, probably about $98 million. Job, probably about $75 million, according to today's money, because they calculate all the land and all the camels and everything. So be willing to look into that. I think that's one thing that freed me up in my faith, is because once I understood the story of the talents and how the master took the talent from the guy who buried it, which I see a lot of people bury it, a lot of Christians, a lot of non-Christians, a lot of just people. They bury their God-given talents. Isn't that crazy that it was called talents? That's pretty nuts. Bury the talent, and then the master took the talent from that guy. What y'all don't know is that when he took the talent, that guy had no money. He literally went hungry, and the master didn't feed him. You should be ashamed for burying your talents. You should not eat tonight. You should go sleep under a bridge tonight, because you and your lack of faith have cost you and your family, in the name of frugalness, in the name of, go down the list, man. The most beautiful thing Satan ever did to the church, it was beautiful propaganda, bro. Like, he's so good. And for Christians to not see it is unbelievable, but it's true. They don't see it. Is that he told everyone in the church that money was bad. He told them that making a lot of money is wrong. It was so brilliant, because how would you further the gospel without money? How? You're not. That's why everyone God chose in the Bible was of means to further the gospel. They were all of means. It's hard to get around it. And I know some people never will. And that's okay. I'm not here to minister to you. I literally don't care if you do or not. I'm just a conduit. And maybe if I can, share some of these different angles on the book that I grew up with, right? And some of the principles that are actually what I share with you in that diagram is actually all biblical. It's literally just faith, which is belief, investment, which is multiplying the talents, right? Or the focus of multiplying the talents, focus on the ROI, take massive action in the end to multiply the talents, and then back to faith again. That's all it is. But I see a lot of Christians who have no faith. The master said, Cody says, this was a beautiful part of the verse. He said, "Thou knewest I was an austere man," was the words. You knew better. You knew better, right? This is a Facebook user, but this is definitely Justin French. He said, "If you're scared of fate, don't get in a racing, by God. She go fast." I said, "I'll turn left." See if I can get that front end. I'm trying to set up. I come down. Now listen, he gonna come. Now he dipped down, and when you was on turn 2, he dipped down, he tried to spin you out. Well, I'll tell you one thing. We gonna fight in that infield as soon as I get back in there. I'm gonna throw a helmet at his ass. Hey man, it was good, dude. I appreciate it. Hope y'all got something out of this. This is actually very, very simple, but I think sometimes we got to get back to blocking and tackling. We got to get back to the simple. We got to get back to blocking and tackling. We got to focus on the things that really matter. Go to pwcourse.com, guys. All the courses are 50% off. Message info at pwcourse.com. Here it is. In the chat. Okay. There's a deal on the inner circle. Message IC to that email, and there is a huge lifetime deal. You get all the courses for a crazy Black Friday deal. All the courses, and you get lifetime in the inner circle. And if you're not in the inner circle yet, guys, this is the greatest group on the internet. All of the guys in there are super positive towards each other, and they're all pros. Everybody there wants to go. And there's a lot of guys like Terman's in there. Ben Wilson's in there, Glenn Jernigan, guys that you know, and we all hold each other to a higher standard. We're all pushing each other to make more money. We're all pushing each other to get bigger tickets. Okay. TC's in the house, dude. TC's in the inner circle. Go grab it. Look, send me IC to info@pwcourse.com. I'll see you guys in the next video. Do the formula, dog. Listen, this is it. This is it. The belief part's going to be hard. I'm telling you. You got to search your childhood for that one. You got to get rid of all that Baptist guilt, because they've been telling you. All right. They've been telling you, well, don't be thinking you can do nothing now. If you do it, you need to give it to the Lord. Meanwhile, they be tithing next to nothing. Okay. Well, what about the widow's mite? What about that story? See, they always got some little story about why doing nothing is good. We don't do shit, but it's good. See, no. You be the head of your household. You be the guy who brings home the bacon. You be the one person in your family that goes off and gets rich. That's your duty. It is written. Don't matter how you feel. Go do it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Shoo.